Alright, so we're going to look at a fictional example here. It's just like a practice questions before you go on to practice your own. So a very small country starts off being affected by COVID-19. In the week the virus first appears, the country has 12 confirmed cases. This number increases by 80% each week for 8 weeks. Then from the beginning of week 9, the number of new cases decreases by 25 cases each week. So there are two parts here, and you see what you're going to see is when we're looking at this, essentially it starts off slow and the growth grows more and more and more. But then it reaches the peak here, and then it starts to come down at a straight line. So there's kind of two parts here, so we're going to need to remember that for later on. So first off, how many new cases are there in the 6th week? Well, we need to figure out if this is arithmetic or geometric. And in this case it's geometric. Whenever the first part is talking about increasing by a percentage each week. So when we're talking about percentages, it's basically always geometric, because it's not increasing by the same amount, it's increasing by the same ratio. Now our first term is 12, and what is our ratio? Well, since it's increasing by 80%, it's the same as 180% each week, so our ratio is 1.8. Now, are we finding the total across a number of weeks, or are we asking about the number of cases in a specific week? Or just a specific week, so we're going to be using the term, this rule here, for the geometric sequence. Next, we put our numbers in. So we're going to put 12 here, 1.8 there, and then 6 minus 1 is going to give us 5 in the power there. Now if you type that into your calculator, you come out with 226.74. Now that's not quite a whole number, but we're talking about people here, so you need to round it to a whole number. So about 227 people will get the virus by week 6. Now the next part to remember is there is a peak here. So from the beginning of week 9 it decreases, so the peak is occurring at week 8. So firstly we need to figure out when that is, because that's actually the start of that new sequence there. So it's the start of the new sequence right here. Now, so we need to figure out calculate when it's at its peak. And when is it its peak? Well, week 8. So we're going to find T8. Now to do this, we use the term rule like we did in the last one. Put the numbers in, comes out to be about 735 people at its peak. Now you can use either of these answers or accept either, but just remember when you're making conclusions it needs to be in terms of whole numbers of people. So that means the starting term for the new sequence is going to start at either of these numbers. Our A is going to be either 734.66, or you can choose to use 735. Now in terms of what term we need to find week 12, it's actually quite important to think about, because our first term is week 8, our second term is week 9, and that kind of carries on, which means our 12th week is going to be T5. So it's often I find it helpful to count up on your fingers, going like 1, 8, 2, 9, and just counting them on your fingers. So week 12 is T5. Now the new sequence is arithmetic because it's going down by the same amount each week. It's going down by 25 cases each week. So our A is 735, or 734.66, and our D, since it's going down, is minus 25. So we use this equation here for the arithmetic term number, put our numbers in, and that comes out with that number there. Now we need to interpret that, so about 635 people will get the virus in the 12th week.